One thing I will comment on, if you remember, and I'm going to pull back up, Jed's head was kind of cut off a little bit at the top. So make sure you're positioned back where it's going to show you a good profile picture of your upper abdomen and things. You can probably see the chair in front of you. The other thing I would encourage you to do is use your hands. Okay? Now, if you do review some of the speaking techniques and things like that, the interesting thing is that if you rate teachers with no sound and sound, they perform the same with evaluations. TED Talks that have gone viral have 10 times more hand movements by their speakers. Now, you can't just kind of come up with your hands every time and do this and keep talking and use your hands like a fool, but you also don't want to sit on your hands, and you don't want to be rigid and unapproachable and unempathetic. That's the way that can sometimes appear. So I would ask you guys to consider using your hands when appropriate and make sure that that's part of your repertoire. You're practicing using those motions. Again, 70% of our communication is nonverbal. It's nonverbal. Anybody from our remote campuses, any comments, thoughts, other questions about the SVI? I want to make this short and succinct. I don't want to get up here for an hour and preach.
Just on a technical side, not sure if they're even going to take this into consideration, but I think any little bit will help. Don't film with your back next to a bright window. Avoid any kind of backlight if you don't have sufficient front light as well. And if you don't have the best of microphones, you can turn off the air conditioner in your room, in your house, so you don't have that distracting hum in the background. And even consider unplugging refrigerators can get pretty loud. It might not sound loud to you, but to a microphone it can easily pick it up. So anything you can to make it sound and look a little bit more professional is what I think probably be it.
Yeah. And I wouldn't do the SVI with the bright light, or maybe a picture of some kind of Baywatch scene that's in your dorm room. Go somewhere else. Yeah. I think the best medicine you can take is a selfie. Again, for your presentations, for the way that you practice. And I think with this SVI, I definitely encourage you guys to do a selfie and record yourself. Just set a little tripod with your phone, maybe background with your computer if you're savvy enough to do it. As you do these practice sessions, I would definitely encourage you guys to do a few dress rehearsals. Take a look at that, watch it yourself, because you're going to pick up on stuff that nobody else picks up on. It's going to hurt, it's going to be painful, ain't going to like it. It's good medicine, gotta take it. You guys can email me these. I don't know what the volume's going to be. I can't say I'm going to get to everybody in all 17 different times that you reviewed yourself. I can watch that much, but I'll try my best if you want to send me one to give you some feedback and try to help coach you through that and maybe identify some things that you want to capitalize on and maybe coach out some things. So I talked to Dr. Wick. I just saw her upstairs. So I think your campus student affairs deans are also on board with this. I think Chris and Angie are on board with this. So I think you've got a lot of good resources, and I would encourage you guys with each other. Coach each other up. You guys are in the same group together, same boat. You know what to look for. You know what's not going to land well. So I definitely encourage you guys to confide in your fellow classmates and mentor each other. So it's kind of about all I had. I don't know if there's any other comments or questions or wisdom from the group on anything.
Just a couple of comments on how it's going to work real quick. I know some of you already know this, some of you don't, but you're given 30 seconds to look at the question and contemplate it. So that's your time to kind of reflect on the question. And then as soon as that 30 seconds is up, I think you might have the option to just go ahead and skip the time and go straight to, if you want to. You'll have 30 seconds, then you have and then that's when the 3 minutes starts for you to answer. So you'll have a good 30 seconds to kind of think about the question and organize your thoughts. Like our leader said, once you press go, it's go. You can't go back, you can't redo questions, you got to go through the whole thing. There's no redos unless there's technical difficulties. So if the internet goes out or something happens during the video interview, those are the times when you can submit an appeal, or I don't know what the process is exactly, but to redo the interview. This is not, they say it's not required to do this to apply into emergency medicine, it's required. They can see, programs can see whether or not you have done this, and they can weigh that into whether or not they choose to give you an interview. Yeah, go ahead.
Quick question, do you know if there's like a break between, so do you answer the question, and if you say, you know, you went 2.5 minutes, you say submit, does it automatically pop up the next question, you have 30 seconds to go?
I believe so. I believe it's one of those things where it's just, I don't think you can accumulate time.
Gotcha.
It's, you get 30 seconds for a question, you have.
Well, I guess like, can you answer?
Hey Chad, can you hear us in call station?
Yes.
I believe you can stop between questions, so you can
That's what I meant.
do a question and then leave and then come back and do the next question.
I remember reading that now. Yeah, you can pause between questions, that's right, yeah. What else?
I'd also like to, if somebody could get a screenshot of just the user interface, like what color is it, what font, I mean, I don't know, how big is it, what is the flow? I'd be really interested to see what the practice looks like. So again, I'll hopefully see that when you video yourself, but if you just mind.
Now, I was at SAEM when the program directors were talking about this, and there was one seminar that was given about this, about the SVI. The kind of consensus that was discussed between the program directors was that, yeah, they're not going to look through all the SVIs. There's no way they have time for that. There may be situations where, like Dr. Weiters said, it's between two people, and they have to use something, so they go through, but those are like very unique instances where the interview is going to be looked at. By far the most time, it's just, they're gonna look at the score that was given. Again, you can score 1 point is the lowest you can for each question, and then the most is 6. 5, that's right. 5.
So just the metrics are impossible, you know, I mean, we get thousands of applications, you know, times 20 minutes apiece, that's 20,000 minutes of watching videos from students. I mean, that's a quick way to get burned out as a physician. I think, like Jazz said, I think you're gonna find people that might be on the fence on a wait list, and they might just like pop a few, maybe watch 1 question or 2 questions, and then see what that looks like. And maybe that might help. I don't know, nobody knows what to do with this.
And basically score-wise, because they've already have data from piloting, and they have like a bell-shaped distribution to go off of. And a lot of the programmers were saying, as long as you're not in like the far low standard, like 3 standard deviations out in terms of your score, you should be fine. That's kind of the consensus that was going from there. And yeah, so, and one more thing, total sit-down time for this whole thing is about 25 to 30 minutes, including the prep time, the instruction time, and the interview time, unless you decide to take longer breaks in between. Yeah. So, with that being said, are there any questions now? Okay, I think Aaron recorded this on the camera. So we'll figure out how to post that for anybody who wasn't here. So if you have people who are free.